much of a role does Prime Minister Modi's personal chemistry with world leaders really impact the relationship between nations, especially with the United States?
Oh, tremendously. I think you have to understand, you have a Prime Minister who's able to connect, build trust, communicate very well in every aspect. When President Obama was there, he built that relationship. When President Trump came in, he built that relationship. You have President Biden, he has built that relationship. There's no single leader out there who's had that constant relationship with the last three presidents except this Prime Minister. So I think his personal charm, his personal leadership does have a very evident impact on the relationships.
To you, what are the gaps that still remain? What are the risk factors that are perceived as far as India is concerned? And how do you think there can be a way forward?
I think communication. You have to basically talk about India's story to the rest of the world. You have to talk about why Ram Mandir is important to the rest of the world. And I think that's where we're missing it. When you have a very strong liberal media, which tends to take a very biased approach on certain issues, that we need to counter that. And I think that's where the media has to play a much more pivotal role, communicating the India story.
But I thought, on the other hand, that the media in India was actually blamed for, actually exaggerating the India story, much more than the quote-unquote liberals would actually be able to digest. Are you saying it's still less?
Well, I think it's about perception, it's about maturity. And I think when I come to India, you see the energy, you see the vision of people, you see the excitement of the youth. You have a country marching in one direction. That's about economic growth. I think we need to communicate that more and more.
And when you factor in risk factors on the political front, do you look at the political formation, the India alliance, as it has been called, by the opposition coming together? How do you factor the chances of the India alliance vis-a-vis a very confident Modi-led BJP?
Well, I think you look at the last state election, it told the story that people want change, people want economic benefit, people want sense of stability, and they want security. And you have one government which seems to be executing on that. But more important, you have to understand, you have a Prime Minister who can communicate very well, who connects with people very well. But more important is delivering on his commitments in every aspect. So what you have today, for example, 8 Indians got released from Qatar jail. They had death sentence. They worked behind the scene, sorted it out without making any noise. To me, that shows leadership, that shows maturity.
Well, yes, that's a big victory for India and Indian diplomacy.